me and my husband were in our truck, and as he was listening, or we are listening to a radio station, I told him, I don't like that station. Can we please change the channel? And he started turning the dial, and I heard God. And I said, go back. That's the one I wanted to listen to. And he said, I knew you would say that, but I didn't see the dial number or the station number. And I said, well, it's 91.1, because my eyes locked on the dial and I saw 91.1. And from then on, whenever I'm with him in the truck, he would put 91.1 on the dial.
For several years, there had been a number of people who had a dream to start a Christian radio ministry from Burlington, Washington. After years of talking about it, a board was assembled to take on the project in earnest. Little by little, a plan was formalized, and in early 2016, the plan was put into action, and Radio of Life, KTFJ 104.7, was born. The name Radio of Life was selected as this implies that a more abundant life is only found through Christ. With a range that covers much of Skagit County, Radio of Life can also be streamed on the internet radio station worldwide.
We had a returning missionary that had joined our class, Brian Wilson, who grew up here in the valley. He was bringing up in our prayer sessions a number of times, he would bring up, is there a place for FM radio stations ministry in the Skagit Valley?
And one of the things we need to be praying for is that God would reach every person in Skagit County with the gospel. And I think one way of letting that happen is by letting us have a radio station.
Well, let me share my journey started a while back when I was in depression that led me into gambling. I was feeling empty. I was looking for answers or things to fill me up. And I was lost. I know I was lost. As I was flipping the channel on DirecTV, I got into this Hope channel, which is on channel 368, and Sean Boostra was on, and I got captivated of his teachings, and it drew me closer to the Word of God. I also watched Pastor Doug Batchelor, and one day while he was preaching, at the end of his preaching, he said, I would encourage you guys to go find a church and not just watch us on TV. For me, God is aligning my path towards Him, and because on the way to work, I always pass this church, and every day I would tell myself, someday that church will be my church. I decided to go to church, and it was Sunday. I got ready and went to church, but there was nobody at the church. The church was closed, and so I was like wondering, what's going on. So I went back home and I looked online, and I saw that their services were on Saturday. So the next Saturday, I came to church, and from then on, God has healed my depression and my gambling, and God helped me find a church, a loving church, where people would also help you with your walking with Jesus Christ.
It's interesting to see how God leads in what you've done in the past to what He wants you to do. When we came here, the radio station idea hadn't formalized yet, and when I found out about it, it perked my interest because of my background, and I'd done some radio station stuff too. At the time, it was my understanding that the only person that had any radio station experience was Mark, and but they were still needing more people that had some experience, and now we have 2 additional people we have a total of 3, Judson and myself and Mark. The Lord has brought together people from outside of the area, really, to bring us together to do this.
The church agreed to allow us to mount the antenna for the broadcast system on the roof of the sanctuary, which was a huge thing. And this church is one of the tallest structures in the area. And so it occurred to us that if we could mount the antenna on this church, we could fulfill that goal and have a good broadcast area.
Mark had said how the range of the station was suspected to go 6 miles. We're limited by FCC regulation to have 100 watts. And so we were anticipating doing all of Burlington and barely touching Cedar Woolley and Mount Vernon. But now that the station is up and we're still only doing 100 watts, I like to think that God has commissioned some angels to blow the signal and make the winds blow and carry it further, because we have had people hear us in all corners of the county, as well as spilling over into 2 neighboring counties. It's not our intention to be one more kid on the block. We want to fill a void. And so our choice of music is a little down from contemporary and a little up from elevator music. We want to get the middle. But we're also going to have a network feed from Radio of Hope, 91.1. That will provide a lot of the content of programming that's family-friendly, health-oriented, Bible-based kinds of programming. What does the future hold? At this point, we don't anticipate someday being a high-powered station, but I've learned a long time ago that you never know. God will decide what we're going to do. This is Radio of Life. We want it to be holistic in nature, not just sermons and not just music. We have Dr. Jonathan Fish in our church puts on a monthly program called Dinner with the Doctor. There is a program on how to lose weight. So we're emphasizing the whole body, the whole healthy, happy life. We would like to involve students in the Skagit Adventist School to be able to be involved in some of the announcing and things like that. We'd like to do kind of talk show format with people in the community. We'd like to promote things like blood drives and things that are health oriented, drug recovery, things like that.
I got involved with the radio station. I became a board member, and now the radio is running, and it's 104.7 KTFJ Radio of Life. God has used me to reach out to other people through media also.